What's up, everybody? It's Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Stationeers. When we left off in the last episode, we kind of built this new furnace, arc furnace kind of room, which is pretty cool, to where we can not only toggle where, if we need to use the not nitrogen, but to fill up a jetpack tank, and also use the arc furnace to smelt, we get our stuff, and we can close this off and vent the gases that are produced without tainting our atmosphere, which is pretty cool. We also kind of finished off, or polished up, I guess is probably the better term, the regular furnace, or the gas furnace, whatever you want to call it, where we have our exhaust valve, our tank valve. Let's see, this opens the tank outside. This opens to the furnace, which has a pressure regulator, so we can set what we want. And then this is a valve that goes to the tank. And then this is the exhaust. When we're done, we can vent the gases back to the tanks. Now, in the last episode, I tried to play around with the furnace a little bit. And I did find, I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but you can basically spam the activate button when it's not... Actually, it almost looks like there's even a little bit of color change there. I'm not really sure if that was just a glitch or not, but you can kind of play with this. Now, I don't know if this is a glitch or not. It seems like a glitch that when you're hitting activate, there's nothing really supposed to be in the tank, so it seems kind of like a glitch thing. But I imagine if I wanted to, I could kind of prime it like that and then turn the gas on and then click it, and it would probably heat up or turn on correctly. I don't really know. But I was reading on the wiki the other day, and I think I might have actually configured this a bit incorrectly in that I was using pollutants, which I think you're actually supposed to use volatiles, or aka hydrogen, a mix of hydrogen and oxygen, but I think you could probably use just hydrogen. I don't know. So we're going to try, I want to try my priming method a little bit just to see if I can do it. So it seems like kind of spamming it like that, we're getting a decent temperature going, and I think you have to be over 200 to 400 to turn it on. I'm not sure. So we're going to turn the gas regulator on, or the valve like that. That should fill that up. And see, now it doesn't really seem to be working. So I'm not sure exactly how this works, to be honest, but it's not working that way. So that's out. That won't really work, so we need to vent that. I suppose in reality I probably should have a pressure regulator or a volume pump on the other end of this, so it actually pulls everything out, because as you can see, when we get to the lower, not kPa, but when we get into the just regular, I believe that's pascals. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or if that's even the right measurement, but when we get to the regulars and not kPa, it doesn't really seem to vent properly all the way, but then it heats back up when we're clicking this. So it's a little bit on the odd side, and I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure if it's correct or not. So let's actually try something different. We're going to turn those on, but the other one's closed. We'll prime this up a bit. And I think part of it is because the gas is probably cold, is another issue that we're running into here. So as soon as it floods with gas, I get back to 229 Kelvin kind of thing. And I think that might have to do with the temperature, but it could also have to do... actually, let's leave that on. Let's close that. And we'll let that vent out a bit. Close that off. Close that off, vent that back out. It could also have to do with the idea that basically not just that it's cold or whatever, but if I actually am using the wrong gas, that could be another issue. So with that, I want to experiment a wee bit. Now, I did look up a little bit online as well as to what I'm actually supposed to smelt or break down to get certain gases. I was actually thinking I could put coal into the furnace and smelt the coal, and it would kind of give me like carbon, was kind of the idea, but I don't think that ended up actually really being a thing. So what I think I need is from my actual... Oh, I had a bunch of crap in my inventory still. What I actually think I need is for my mining belt to actually get more oxides and volatiles kind of thing to help build up the gases a little bit. I also don't need some of this stuff either, so... Hello? What the... That was weird. I've never seen it shade out like that before. That was really odd. I also think at some point I would like to start working on some form of... basically some form of, like, storage room or something. I'm actually thinking right here of putting an elevator, because we haven't really played with elevators yet. So I'm kind of thinking maybe putting an elevator here that goes down, and underneath this being the storage room. And then maybe we could connect up the furnace output here and either run that through, or maybe run that, yeah, maybe run that through, and then maybe run the chutes here off to the side and then down, and connect the two up. And then have that go to somewhere. I don't know how the chutes interact with, like, lockers and things, though, so I'm not really sure. Okay, so if we test this out correctly, I should be able to close this, put you in there, turn you on, and then activate this, and then that's going to pull everything out of there. And I think, did I have this? I think I have this set for if that's on. Yeah. So if the furnace is on, it's going to pull everything out of the room. So that should actually... Now, I probably should be careful with that. I have not really played around enough with these to know whether or not any of these are going to blow anything up. So, and this is a very tiny room. So there is that as well. Especially volatiles. That's another risky one. But it seems to have paid off okay. So that actually works pretty good, to be honest. And obviously for a regular smelting situation, that could work pretty good. Yeah, you do run a little bit of a recycle system of this is pulling, like this fills up with air, so you have 50 kPa. When you close the door, it's gonna like fill it back up, kind of thing. I mean, empty it, so then it has to fill everything back up, so it's drawing more out of here. So there is that aspect of it, but I don't think with all of this set up it will really be a problem, because we've basically got all this squared away. Another thing that I thought about setting up is we've got the filter system going, and I actually haven't checked it to see how well it's doing. Pretty good, actually. I think we could even... Let's say we want to risk it. And we do that? Maybe.
Helmet opened.
Hey, we don't actually have any pollutants or anything going on, which is awesome. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to go ahead and swap that out. Also, I didn't really realize the importance of it, but it's probably a bigger deal now that they've added durability to filters. Because if we can actually breathe the air and not use our suit tank, not only are we not messing with the oxygen as much, but we're also not going to wear down our CO2 filter. So in overall, it's a really good idea if we could actually do that and do it more normally and have opening your helmet be a more frequent thing. Actually, it shouldn't be a problem now, really, because if the pollutants and everything get to be a big deal, it should... I mean, the only pollutants that were happening was from smelting down stuff, which we have an enclosed area for now. So actually, we should be able to walk around here just fine, which is a really big step in the right direction. I don't know why I keep getting stuck on this stairway right there. Stairs and floor grates do not like each other, apparently. One thing... Oh, that's right. Let's see. There was also something I saw online. I was perusing the wiki a bit, and I saw something, a setup for the fabricator here that I actually thought was pretty interesting, and I don't think I have this set up to any logic, so I think we can pull it off. Alrighty, so this is a way that I think it was on the wiki actually that I saw it kind of displayed, and I thought this was kind of cool actually. I didn't realize you could do it this way, but they basically put a computer right in front of the fabricator, which does a couple things. One, it gives us a bit more room to move over here. It's not quite so congested. It also freed up a little bit of this. Technically speaking, it got me one cable back. I mean, I don't know if I could have done this a little bit better, but I was trying to kind of maximize and be more efficient, but whatever. So it works, which I think is overall an improvement. So I think we're going to keep it this way. Can I take this one? I did. So I think that's kind of cool. And it also is a little bit more convenient because I can basically turn this on, and then when I'm right here I can turn that on, which is cool. Now, one thing I don't like is my lighting is too spaced out here. Let me see what I've got working with here. I have like no cables anywhere to tie into, which is kind of annoying. I need to bring... Seriously? I don't have like any wires in here. Okay, there's all my wires. I was like, I know I have wires somewhere. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, I tied in off of this point. Well, I suppose I could actually do that. Let's see, what do I need? This? Nope, wrong button. So let's turn our lights on for a second. Okay, let's see. I like it kind of around here. And I'm kind of getting to where I kind of like these long... or wide lights. I think those are kind of cool. Maybe somewhere about here. I think that might be a bit more uniformly spaced out, so to speak. It's not really centered on the objects, it's more centered on the grate, but whatever. Okay, I think I can just tie this together. Let's see, where's the plug? It's right there. So I'm wondering if I can actually just bring this over here. Yeah, kind of like this. I think... yeah, that'll work right there. I was trying to make sure I lined it up right. Yeah, that'll work. And voila! How's that work? Okay, so this is a little dark over here, but we could probably fix that. Actually, you know what? I think that's a big issue with this whole situation with the lights is, I think it's kind of like too cornered. Everything's like way over here on the edge and not a little further out into the room, which I'm not a fan of. I think I just kind of did that to minimize my cable use, but I'm kind of not liking it. Okay, so that works there. Let's put another one maybe there and another one maybe right there. I think that will overall improve, and we might need to add a couple... ooh, I almost took the door off. I might need to add a couple more here and there. Let's see, what's the... there we go. And I want the plug going that way. I think that'll work. Let's try and line it up here. Let's see, cable or corner, maybe. Straight one comes in there. All right, bring that down, and then I'm gonna run out of cable actually. Okay. Turn that one on. Are my lights on? No. Okay. So that works pretty good. And, ooh, I don't think I'm gonna... well, if I put it right there, maybe I'll have enough. Let's try that. Okay. Where'd it go? There you are. And, like, nope. Nope. There we go. And let's try and... why can't I rotate you? There we go. Let's try... maybe like that. That might actually work a little bit better. I don't need those steel plates at the moment. I do, however, need some light. It's the only problem with breaking down all of your lights. You can't find anything. Alright, so that's just a corner. Let's change the direction, though, to go that way. And then we'll have that go that way, and that would go straight. Lights off. How are we looking? Pretty good. That's a little bit in the dark over here, but it's kind of a nitpick, but I think overall this is actually much more improved, I think. Okay, so I went ahead and placed all of the metal of the ceiling back, and we're going to test out our new fabricator setup here. I've got an elevator, a ladder, and a suit storage, kind of because I want to see A, what they cost, and B, oh, that's not too bad. Copper, steel, solder, and gold. That's not too bad at all to make an elevator. Now, I don't know if you need one for every floor. I'm kind of assuming you do. Not unlike that of a ladder. That's only 5 iron. I'm actually going to stop that one. And a suit storage actually requires silver, one of the few things that I've seen that actually needs that. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. So like that, I like that a lot better in terms of how you can set that up. Oh, it did build the... Wait. Alright. That's something I've seen happen before, and I finally was able to recreate it. If you delete something while it's in the middle of it, it seems you kind of get the last thing that you were making. That's unfortunate, because I believe the suit storage was much more expensive, and I don't know if it actually uses all of that or not. It just gives you the wrong thing, or what. So we're going to find out. If I don't have any more silver, then we'll know, because it was going to make that before. Yep. Doggone it. Alright, so it eats that. That's not very nice. Let's grab 16. That should be fine. While we're down here, I'm going to go ahead and play around with this. But first, I probably should set up a... Oh, I almost made a big no-no. That would have been bad. I would have sucked all the air out of the... My eyeballs could have been sucked from their sockets. So yeah, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Okay. I'm gonna let this go. I don't know how long this will take. Alright, so I went ahead and added the silver over here and finished making the suit storage so that now when we're in our base and we're going to be here a while, we can actually take our suit off, which will spare our air tank and filter and battery and all that kind of stuff, because now we've got a pretty regulated atmosphere where we're not really contaminating it. You know, if we're going to contaminate it, it's got this closed environment area. The furnace stuff is all kind of enclosed, so unless something really bad happens, we really shouldn't be polluting the air other than just how we're breathing, which at a certain point, if it caused any problems, we could basically just put our suit back on and, you know, let it essentially vent the room or fix the system. Now, that is something that we would have to keep an eye on, is if the system kicked on and started venting the room, we would kind of have to put on our suit really quickly, kind of thing. But I also made these elevators, and there's a couple of different ways. I mean, it looks like there's a way these work. They obviously have a connection point down there and up there. But there's the shaft version, which I'm assuming is just to get the elevator to and fro. And then there's a level, which is actually like a call button to bring it back and forth. So the idea I had... And I'm going to have to leave this wall here and go and do it from the outside, I think, because at the moment it's an iron frame. So what I'm thinking, I don't know if these are airtight or not. I'm kind of assuming that they're not. So what I think I'm going to do with this wall here is take the iron frame behind this out, put walls around it to seal it in, and then put these down. But as you can see, there's also a power and a data plug on... now, I'm assuming all of them need power. I don't know if all of them what kind of data you can get off of them. But basically, what I'm thinking, I have 3, so there will basically be a level, a shaft, and a level, which would skip a block. It'll skip this floor, and then it'll go down another level for the storage room that we want to build. But part of it is just because I wanted to play around with the block a little bit. I could have just done a ladder or some other thing, but I kind of wanted to just mess around with it and see what happens. With that in mind, though, I am going to need some more cable, as, I mean, that should shock no one at this point. I think that's the one thing that I'm always in dire need of, is cables. We have a decent amount, so let's just go up to 30, I think. Now, one thing is I want to plan a bit of how to run this cabling. So, let's go ahead and throw these in there. So, where do I have? This is probably one of the closest. Though I don't know. I don't know if I have anything on this wall that I can tie into, or maybe the floor. I could split off from here and go out that way. That may not be a bad idea, because that's probably going to be closest. Oh, no, you dummy. That's going to be closest right there. I can just run it around through... Well, yeah, I think that'll work. I think that'll work. Let's go ahead and put that back, because I'm going to need to weld down these 2 walls then. Oops, did I not place that? I thought I did. Yeah, so I think I'm going to tie in off of this. Might not be a bad idea. Nope. Other way. There we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to split right there, do a four-way cross, and go off that way. I may put another power controller back here somewhere so that it's on the elevator's on its own circuit. I think that'll probably be a good idea. I've had pretty good luck so far with not doing any kind of major burnouts or anything, because most everything, every time I go into another room or section or something, I kind of just add another power controller, and it usually ends up working out okay. So far, so good. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm out here, and I'm a little unprepared. I didn't bring any of the walls with me, which I should have. But I'm out here kind of wiring everything up, and it's going okay. I've had to do a little bit more excavating than I really wanted to. But I think I've got it figured out to where it's kind of like a skip situation, where it's like you have a junction, then you have a space, then a junction, a space, a junction, a space, and I think I can walk that all the way up, and the data and the power should stay connected, in theory. So our wiring can be done. I've got the main junction box going right here, and it may not be crazy smart of me that I didn't actually tie... I keep falling. There's no place for me to stand out here, and I don't really want to keep using my jetpack fuel. I don't think it'll be crazy smart of me that I didn't really tie this in per se. Dagnabbit, why am I sliding? This is not ice out here. I do kind of hate that. It does seem to treat friction type stuff as if it's like ice, that if you move just so slightly, you just slide off of everything. And I don't know why everything's so slippery in space. It's like, that doesn't seem to make sense, but what do I know? Alright, so we need to go past this, right? I think it's got to go like 1 block over or so, give or take. Let's see if we can line this up, because I need to actually get this to where it's connected. Now, I am going to have to at least... I don't know if the back... I don't think the back counts, but I'm at least going to have to do on each side to keep it airtight. I'm going to have to do some walls, I think, on the sides. I think the front may be okay. And the top will need a wall, too, I think. Alright, so let's do a junction. Yeah, let's do a... That's a 4-way junction. Let's do one there. And then that would put us right about that height. So let's see if we can do... Do I need a 5? I really need a 4, it's just in a different direction. Oh, like that. Perfect. If I can get it to line up right. And just like that. What do you know? Alright, so now a regular corner ought to do with a straight. Nice. Now, actually, no, I could do that with a regular junction. I think. And then we'll do a junction. Come on. Just line up. I really don't like having to use my jetpack that much, but whatever. I feel like I'm not lining this up right, though. I don't feel like that's right. It seems too close together for some reason. Oh, no, I know. As I need to keep going. Okay. So then we do a straight... I said we do straight. There we go. And in case anyone was wondering, I think the control key is set up for the auto place as well as the descend on my jetpack. So that's why I keep falling when I'm trying to figure that out. Dag nabbit. Okay, there is something going on. You guys can let me know if you agree. But I feel like there's something going on with the, not necessarily physics, but kind of the physics in the game. That I feel like there's some latency, like a lag in input, and then it kind of like stutters and overcompensates. It feels like since they changed to where you didn't wind up when you walk, but everything's just always felt a little slippery, but now I keep kind of like jumping over, like you tap the key and because there's no wind up, I kind of just go flying. So we need at least 1, 2... This is the part I'm not sure about. I don't know if I put an elevator next to an already established like iron frames. I don't know if it'll stay airtight or not. So let's assume that it will. And if it will, then I need 5 walls, I think, and that should cover us. Okay, so we're back inside the base, and I think I've sealed up everything. I think the last little test is to open up this wall and see what happens. Ideally, we're going to end up with a little bit of, unable to, hold on, cannot interact as it's currently locked. What happened? How does that work? It shouldn't be that way. But ideally what's going to happen is eventually this will balance out because even though this is open, I hope everything's sealed up correctly. And if it is, then we should be able to... I don't understand this. The elevator's locked. I feel like that means... power should be active, but why is it locked? Admittedly, never really worked with these things before, so I have no idea. There is, well, it's battery powered. I was going to say the one way I could do this is to cut the power. But if I were to do that, yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that this is completely sealed either. Because although we're not losing too much pressure or anything, we are still seeing particles that keep going. And they don't seem to be stopping. So I'm not sure how much air will be required to fill up this room, but I'm mostly concerned about why it's still set to locked. I might actually try and do a wee bit of trickery here and see if I can pull it off. And that is to turn these both off. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to... Oh, it's on a different power controller. Never mind, it won't work. I was going to see if I could access the lock function and unlock the thing. I'm wondering if it's because it's down on the other floor, but then I'm kind of like, if that's the case, how do I get it back up here? Type of thing. I think I wired everything up correctly, so that shouldn't be an issue. I wonder if I need a controller. Possibly I might need a controller. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that, because I'm thinking normally when this happens, it's like with an airlock, where you need... The circuit board airlock is currently depressurized. That's... I don't remember ever seeing that before. That's interesting. But yeah, so I'm kind of thinking it might be something similar where we need some kind of, I don't know, display or controller or something to activate it. I think, given that we're not really losing any more pressure, I kind of feel like we're okay in the pressurizing department. I'm also kind of curious as to how we jumped up to 12 degrees Celsius now. I don't know where that happened from. All I did was open a wall and put in an elevator, and now all of a sudden it's warmer in here.
Helmet.
Which makes me realize I could turn this off. So let me know what you guys think about in the comments, and I might try and take what kind of feedback I get and see if we can apply it in the next episode to get this actually working. And then start working on, like the, actually building the storage room down below, something like that. But yeah, so I think we're going to wrap things up here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you're just running around, or just finding the channel and just run around, if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. And also click the little bell icon so then you'll be notified when I upload more stuff. And also, for any of you that have been considering or thinking about doing Patreon stuff, I would encourage you, if you want to support the channel, to go over and check out the Patreon page, because I've actually recently did a big overhaul to the tiers and goals and all that kind of stuff, and I hope to be doing some more, getting a bit more active with the Patreon. I'm going to be starting up a Discord server, I think, for patrons and things like that. So the little things I have to work on, but I'm hoping to improve that overall. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap things up for this episode, so I will see you guys next time. Peace.